Welcome to this explainer. Look, before we really dive in, I want you to actually do something for me. If you can, just turn down the brightness on your screen, or maybe dim the lights in your room. Settle into the dark for a second. Now, close your eyes. Just for a moment. Take a really slow, deliberate breath in, and just let it out. All right, open your eyes. We're building a sanctuary together today. You know, mastery of the mind isn't some random accident, and it's definitely not a magic gift bestowed upon a lucky few. It's an architecture. It is built brick by beautiful brick through unbroken daily practice.
So let me ask you a pretty profound question. Are you living in the gap? And by that, I mean that tiny, profound space between a stimulus, like, say, a harsh word from a colleague or a sudden, unexpected bill, and your ultimate reaction to it. See, we so often crave these deep, fireworks-level mystical experiences. We want the grand visions, right? But if we leap to the profound without first actually stabilizing our breath, we're basically building a gorgeous temple on quicksand. The hard truth is, you simply cannot build an unshakable, deathless consciousness on a foundation of inconsistency. So today, we begin the real work of true stabilization.
All right, let's get right into Section 1, Foundation Before Depth. To actually build this foundation, we have to make a pretty major energetic shift. We are moving away from merely understanding meditation intellectually, and we're stepping into a direct, felt, spiritual experience. Let's look at the neuroscience of this for a second. In our hyperconnected modern world, the cerebral cortex acts purely as an organ of consumption. You can literally scroll through 100 articles about meditation in the dark. You can listen to hours of audio, but it remains just information. The knowledge completely stops there. True transformation requires embodied vibration. When you actually sit down and feel the stillness in your own physical body, you are forging brand new, undeniable neural pathways. By truly experiencing the silence, your intellectual knowledge converts into direct experience. And my friends, that direct experience is literally the only language your soul actually understands.
Think about it like this. Reading 100 books about the sweetness of an apple is just gathering data. It doesn't nourish your body one bit. You could memorize the exact chemical composition of fructose, but you still haven't actually tasted it. But taking a single, mindful bite, now that is an experience. So as we journey through this material today, I really urge you to stop merely absorbing facts about how to sit or how to breathe. Convert every single piece of spiritual knowledge into a direct, felt bite. Taste that profound silence for yourself.
Which brings us to Section 2, the physics of stability. Why do so many incredibly dedicated seekers fail to transform? Well, it's because irregular practice doesn't just stall your progress, it literally dissipates your life energy. Imagine a leaky, fractured bucket. You meditate beautifully for 3 days, but then you stop for 4. Those neuroplastic changes you worked so hard for, they revert. The energy just leaks right out into the dark. But daily stability acts as a sealed, glowing vessel where your energy actually compounds. Think of the simple physics of boiling water. If you apply heat to water for 5 minutes, turn it off for 2, and then turn it back on again, it is never going to boil. Continuous heat is required for a phase change. The exact same principle applies to your consciousness. You must practice 365 days a year. No days off, no rest days from the breath.
Moving right along to Section 3, outsmarting the ego. Now I know exactly what you're thinking right now. You're saying, that sounds completely impossible. And I say this to you with the deepest empathy. Your ego thrives in chaos. As soon as you attempt to seal your energetic vessel, your ego will actively generate specific illusions to stop your spiritual evolution. It sends out 5 distinct enemies. First up, no time. But truthfully, if you breathe for 24 hours a day, you absolutely have 20 minutes to just sit and observe it. Second is the broken chain. You miss one single day and suddenly think you failed completely. Listen, missing yesterday is just an event. It is not your identity. Third, lack of desire. You need to understand that lethargy is a biological defense mechanism against change. It's not some deep personal flaw. Fourth, external blame. You think your family is too noisy. But actually, a noisy home is the ultimate training ground for cultivating internal silence. And fifth, impatience. When you hear these 5 voices pop up, please, do not fight them. Just smile at them. Label them for what they are, biological defenses. And then sit down immediately. So how do we practically outsmart these biological defenses? We do it through the alchemy of anchor habits. Relying on pure willpower drains your prefrontal cortex. It's totally exhausting, and honestly, it's why most people end up quitting. Instead, take your delicate, newly forming meditation practice and tie it with a heavy iron chain to a habit you already have deeply grooved into your nervous system. Waking up, brushing your teeth, drinking your very first glass of water in the morning. Just graft your meditation directly onto these existing anchors. The very moment the anchor habit finishes, you set zero friction. You don't even need a calendar. You completely bypass the ego's negotiation phase entirely. When you do this correctly, you're going to cross a vital 21-day threshold. Days 1 through 21 absolutely require conscious, heavy effort. You are going to feel the intense mental friction of carving a brand new neural pathway. And it feels difficult because it is structurally new to your brain. But at day 22, the effort naturally surrenders to subconscious automation. It is exactly like learning to drive a car. Remember that? At first, you stare at every single pedal and grip the steering wheel in sheer panic. But eventually, you drive all the way home from work without even remembering the journey. 21 days of conscious effort basically buys you a lifetime of automated spiritual evolution. And as you continue, the spiritual mathematics compound beautifully within your body. By day 7, you'll experience mental clarity. That chaotic monkey mind actually begins to settle. By day 21, you achieve slowed reactions. That crucial, life-saving gap between a stimulus and your emotional response widens. By day 40, you develop visible radiance. Your inner shifts become outwardly noticeable to others. They might literally ask what you're doing differently. And by day 90, a completely new identity is forged. Your nervous system is physically rewired. You don't return to zero each day anymore. You sit tomorrow as an upgraded version of who you are today. Now, let's step into Section 4, the Blueprint of Masters. What we are discussing here isn't just a trendy take on modern neuroplasticity. We are engaging in a timeless, scientifically precise technology of consciousness. Thousands of years ago, the great sage Patanjali stated, "Practice becomes firmly grounded only when attended to for a long time without a single interruption." The Buddha called it seeking the deathless gap to escape mental suffering. These masters absolutely understood that seeking profound transformation requires uninterrupted devotion. It's a continuous, unbroken thread of awareness that bridges the ancient world right to our modern minds. Now, a really common trap that earnest seekers fall into is guilt. You might be sitting there thinking that spending all this time in silence working on yourself is somehow selfish. Let me just release you from that idea right now. This is the oxygen mask principle. If you are suffocating in anxiety and stress and constant reactivity, you absolutely cannot save your family. Turning your energy 100% inward is actually the ultimate act of service. Transform yourself first. Heal your own inner world. Your sheer presence, your stabilized frequency, will naturally elevate and transform everyone in your home without you ever having to speak a single word. A massive part of this inner healing is learning how to make decisions from a place of absolute truth rather than chaos. We do this through the sacred pause and the practical magic of the astral mind. Never, ever make a major decision in a state of confusion. Step 1, plant the seed. Right before sleep, ask your nine the question 3 times and then completely surrender it. Step 2, the night journey. Let your astral body, unburdened by all your waking anxieties, fetch the undeniable truth while you rest. Sleep is an incredible incubator for absolute clarity. And step 3, the 24-hour rule. When you wake up, if even a tiny fraction of a percent of doubt remains, you wait 24 hours. Command the universe to deliver absolute clarity before you take any action. This leads us right into Section 5, the 72-hour initiation. I am now calling you to immediate experiential action with a 72-hour initiation. These are specific challenges designed to pull the divine directly into the ordinary, quiet moments of your daily life. Challenge 1 is the water anchor protocol. Every single time you wash your hands over the next 72 hours, follow this exact sequence. Close the tap. Close your eyes immediately. Observe exactly 3 natural breaths in total silence. Then, open your eyes and return to the world. Why do this? Because if you wash your hands 10 times a day, that is 10 sudden, radical moments of profound presence. We are training the frequency of your awareness, taking the completely ordinary and making it divine. Challenge 2 commands what we call the shunya gap. This is a mandatory 1-second pause to look inside, count your thoughts, find the zero state, and only then respond. I really want you to treat your phone keyboard and your vocal cords as absolute sacred instruments. If you receive an angry text in the middle of the night, just pause, count your thoughts, speak or type only from a grounded internal state. Just think about how much karma, how much conflict, and how much immense pain is completely avoided by mastering this 1 single second of profound observation. And challenge 3 is the morning foundation. This is the 10-minute non-negotiable rule. For the next 3 mornings, the exact moment you wake up, before the world can even touch you, before you check your phone, before those 5 ego enemies can even start whispering in your ear, you will meditate. First thing, 10 minutes minimum. Look, you can always meditate later in the day, but you can never, ever recover the pristine, unconditioned magic of the dawn. Claim it before the noise of the world rushes in.
Finally, we arrive at section 6, becoming the sanctuary. When you truly commit to this daily architecture, to building these anchors and finding these gaps, you enter the final integration. You move from merely visiting a peaceful state to actually becoming it. The soul deeply experiences the breath. The mind flawlessly automates the anchor habits, and the action initiates presence in your everyday life. When soul, mind, and action seamlessly overlap, you arrive at the awakened identity. You literally stop trying to meditate. The boundary between meditation time and living time dissolves entirely. Your very nervous system becomes a walking sanctuary for yourself and for everyone you meet. And so, we end exactly where we began. The sanctuary is not a place you visit. It is the space you inhabit. As you finish this explainer, I have one final, simple request. Do not immediately rush to your next tab, your next email, or your next task. Just pause. Let the screen fade into the dark. Find the zero state between 2 breaths. Stay in that gap for just a moment longer. And ask yourself, who will you become when you finally emerge from it? Namaste, Masters.